Today, this is lesson 3.2, and we're discussing terrestrial biomes. So this is lesson 3.2, and at the top of that, you need to write effects of latitude and climate, and follow the next two bullet points. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a specific place and time. Weather and community variations are driven by global differences in latitude and climatic conditions. So let's discuss latitude as we're writing this down. Latitude, the distance of any point on the surface of the earth, north or south from the equator, is latitude. This means that light from the sun strikes the earth more directly at the equator than at the poles. Notice the picture, we have the sun. The sun's rays are coming off and they're hitting Earth both from the north and the south. And although you're getting rays here and here, they're somewhat indirect as you get into this direction and indirect as you get over into this direction. But it's a straight shot at the equator line. Next, either with a highlighter, a different colored pen, or with a little star in the margin, you need to note that there has been a change. We're going to talk about climate. Climate, the average weather conditions in an area, including temperature and precipitation, describe an area's climate. So continuing in your notes, plants and animals have adapted to the climate of their biome. Even small changes in temperature and precipitation can affect them.
Hi, my name is Miss LaFay, and today we're going to focus on the greenhouse effect. There are three words we need to concentrate on here: the ozone, the greenhouse, and global warming, all of which are completely different but are also very related. Let's focus on the Earth right now. Here's our Earth, it's green. To keep this simple, we're only going to focus on two layers of the atmosphere. The layer right above us, which contains all of our weather, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the thunderstorms, the clouds. We call this the troposphere. It's about 6 miles. If you go outside and look up, for the first 6 miles, it will be all troposphere. Right above that, we have another layer, which is going to be red. This is the stratosphere. The stratosphere is important here because it contains the ozone. Most of you guys have probably heard about the ozone. The ozone is really good for us, especially the ozone located in the stratosphere, because it is going to block, this is our sun, it is going to block the majority of the harmful sun's rays. About 99% of the sun rays will be blocked directly by the sun. This is good for us so we don't get skin cancer or cataracts or other harmful things that we can get from UV radiation. However, some of this radiation, about the 0.1%, will hit us on Earth and is bounced back. This is held in by what we call the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is located in the troposphere. Greenhouse effect is really good for us, even though you might hear that it's bad. The greenhouse will regulate our temperature. It keeps us warm and it can keep us cold. It keeps us right at that temperature that we feel pretty comfortable at. However, too much of this greenhouse is going to start to warm us up more than we feel we're comfortable with. It warms up, it's going to continually get hotter. Two things we need to focus on: what is making us warm up so much, and what's the problem with that happening. What's making us warm up is carbon dioxide, CO2. Well, we've probably heard of that. CO2 comes from everywhere. We already have it in the atmosphere. Too much CO2, though, is going to be the problem. CO2 comes from things like cars or factories, or cutting down trees who take in CO2 and let out oxygen. We cut down those trees, we get more CO2. This increase of CO2 is giving us about a 1.5 degree Fahrenheit increase in temperature. This increase does not seem like it's that much. However, with this increase, the polar ice caps start to melt. With the melting of the polar ice caps, the sea level will rise. This can become too much of a problem. All that added temperature and all that added water in the atmosphere can help cause more hurricanes. Those are all theories that they're still discovering today. Those theories coming together in this increase in temperature is what people are calling global warming. It's the increase of temperature in the troposphere by the greenhouse. So to quickly review, the ozone is going to block out the majority of the radiation. The greenhouse is going to hold it in. Too much of these greenhouse gases will cause the temperature to rise, which gives us global warming.
So clearly that video was just something that you can go back and refer to. You do not need to put that in your notes. What you do need to put in your notes is our next subtitle. And remember, highlight, change the color, or put a little asterisk, a little star in the margin so that I see it when I grade it. Major land biomes is the next thing we're going to write. And underneath that, tundra. So following for the next 4 bullet points. The tundra is a treeless biome with a layer of permanently frozen soil. The temperature range is anywhere between -70 degrees Celsius to 12 degrees Celsius. Average precipitation 15 to 25 centimeters a year. Geographic location south of the polar ice caps in the Northern Hemisphere. Constant cycle of freezing and thawing does not allow tree roots to grow. Now, I do need to take a point and let you know there are going to be a lot of quiz questions based on each of these biomes. You must know them. Every single last piece of each biome. I cannot stress this enough. In fact, you're going to have these on your test and throughout the year. They will also be present on your EOC. So please make sure that you do, in fact, take the time to learn them because they're not going to go away. Boreal forest. The boreal forest is a dense evergreen of coniferous forest. Its temperature range is -54 degrees Celsius to 21 degrees Celsius. Average precipitation 30 to 84 centimeters a year. Geographic location northern part of North America, Europe, and Asia. Summers are short and moist. Winters are long, cold, and dry. Temperate forest. The temperate forest is composed of broad-leaved deciduous trees. The temperature range -30 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Average precipitation 75 to 150 centimeters per year. Geographic location south of the boreal forests in eastern North America, eastern Asia, Australia, and Europe. 4 well-defined seasons. Summers are hot. Winters are cold. Temperate grassland. Woodlands and mixed shrub communities are found in areas with less annual rainfall than temperate forests. The temperature range is 10 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Average precipitation 38 to 100 centimeters per year. Geographic location surrounds the Mediterranean Sea, western coast of North and South America, South Africa, and Australia. Summers are very hot and dry. Winters are cool and wet. Temperate grasslands. A grassland has fertile soils that are able to support a thick cover of grasses. Temperature range -40 degrees Celsius to 38 degrees Celsius. Average precipitation 50 to 89 centimeters a year. Geographic location North America, South America, Asia, Africa, and summers are hot, winters are cold, moderate rainfall, fires are possible. Desert. A desert is any area where average evaporation is greater than average precipitation. So that means that it's going to go away more often than they can get anything. Temperature range goes from a high of 20 degrees Celsius to 49 degrees to a low of -18 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. Average precipitation is anywhere from 2 to 26 centimeters a year. Geographic location, every continent except Europe. Abiotic factors, varying temperatures, low rainfall. Tropical savanna. It has grasses and scattered trees and less precipitation than other tropical areas. Its geographic location, Africa, South America, and Australia. Summers are hot and rainy. Winters are cool and dry. Tropical seasonal forest. A tropical seasonal forest is analogous to a temperate forest and has distinct wet and dry seasons. Geographic location: Africa, Asia, Australia, and South and Central America. Non-living factors: rainfall is seasonal. Tropical rainforest has warm temperatures and large amounts of rainfall throughout the year. Geographic location: Central and South America, Southern Asia, Western Africa, and Northern Australia. It is humid all year, hot and wet. Mountains do not fit the definition of a biome because their climatic characteristics change with elevation. For example, at the very top of a mountain, you will have ice and snow and freezing temperatures, and it will go all the way down to where we have a tundra with ice, coniferous forest, tropical rainforest where it's hot. You have all of these mixed into one location. So because of its elevation, okay, it's increasing at altitude, it will change what the biome should be. Polar regions. They border the tundra at high altitudes. Polar regions are cold all year and covered by a thick layer of ice, and the average winter temperature is about -30 degrees Celsius. Make sure you copy that down, and that concludes this lesson.